Chosen Wilkins.
If you get aggravated, you're feeding into
made a lie and said that I tried to hurt myself. Chosen.
You know, Puff sent this little kid to the hospital. How he sent her to the hospital? Man, bleeding from the butt. And that's what was said. But I didn't even have a name for the kid.
When you lose your man card, that's the only thing I can think of. You lose your damn man card.
What is that? What do you mean by that?
You give up your ability, your right to being a man. A man don't take it, a man gives it. So when you give up that man card, you don't.
His mom brought Yaz to Charlie. And Charlie came and got me and was like, what you want to do? You doing gay and like, what is wrong with you?
Get him, boy. Get him, boy. Get him, boy.
Till
I stay up till like maybe 6 in the morning. I'm back up at like 10:30, 11.
6 in the morning. What do you do every night till 6 in the morning? You don't go to clubs every night.
No, I mean, I make love a lot. And,
But you got invited and you said no to it?
Hell yeah.
What was the consequences when you said no?
Puffy invited me for weeks, asking me to come and teach him how to, wanted me to be his acting coach for a while. Go there and he's sitting around just looking. I'm like, okay, what's the material you want to work on? He's just looking at me. Then next thing you know, okay, hey, will you help me? I want to hear your music. So I come over there and I play the music. And he's sitting there just looking at me, like waiting. Okay. So then my assistant was like, he wants to hang out with you next week. And I was like, for what? He's like, I think he's trying to fuck you. That's what my assistant said. I was like, oh, okay. Now I get it. So now no more communication. Now you notice to be hands off with somebody. A number of producers come in to make the approach, and you threaten to punch them in the mouth, or threaten to knock their head off for talking to you like, or looking at you like you're a woman.
Bisexual, they do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bryshere Gray, left that house screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
Who knew that your husband was doing things to boys and did stuff to your son and you ain't do shit about it? Bilal told me everything.
Their good friend who
Bilal told me. Jada. He told me that you knew Will was f***ing your child. As he did. Wonder why he left that out of his Tasha K interview.
Yeah, in that interview, he said a lot. He said a lot.
He said everything but the thing that was important. That he know that Will Smith, Jaden, he raped Bryshere and he raped me.
Bryshere's mom. I'ma kick you in your pussy and then I'ma go to work North Philly style. Kill. And Charlie. You happy now? He's a gay star. Are you happy now, Andy? For a book that didn't sell. I hope that new husband of yours leaves you. And maybe it's time you tell your son why his father is really in jail, his biological father, for all of his life and what you had to do with it. You can see she came to me and begged me for my help. I told her to get the away from Charlie. I did everything that I could do to get Bryshere, to help her get Bryshere out of California into Chicago State to be ready for filming. She knew she knew what Will did to him.
Door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal with Will.
Let me process that for a second.
There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing up on him. Murder. It was murder there. I rob in Chicago for Empire. It's a damn mess. It's no other way to put it. This dude is going crazy, right? He's out there allegedly with male prostitutes. He's pissing in the trailer. He's acting psychotic, right?
The same thing he's doing now.
Beyond that. But this is why a show is going on. I pulled him to the side. I said, listen, I'm here to help you and so forth and so on. So he was like, all right, I feel that. He said, everybody on the set know you. Everybody seem like they love you. I want to love you because everybody else love you. I said, if that's what you want to do, then do it. But he kept acting up. And then one day I said, what the F is wrong with you? And he was like, you know. He said, you know Will me. You know Diddy made me suck his this. You know what's going on. You know Charlie made me suck. And I said, I have no idea what's going on. I have no idea. So he crying, no blood is coming from his nose. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Somebody stole 2 hard drives from Jada's house. So now we get into why she's even more mad. Jada will watch at the houses. She had her laptop. She would stick her hard drive in, right? Boom, and hook it up to the TV. And she could play whatever video she watching. So I'm seeing videos of her and Will and a bunch of other, some celebrities, everything. Because remember, the last interview I told you, if you don't sue me, I'm going to let people know who you've been hitting with them dildos. And I said, if you don't sue, I'm going to sue. So I told you, being Muslim, whatever I say I'm going to do, that's what I'm going to do, period. And I got to have evidence. So she's sitting down here watching, playing with herself, high as a kite, right? Not caring who's in the house, whether kids watching, nothing. She's in her own world. So that's how I was able to see the tapes. I saw them, and I saw some things that were unreal, and I saw celebrities on the tape.
Ooh.
I'm under penalty of perjury. If anything in here is a lie, my ass on the jail, period. There's no if, there's no ends, there's no buts. You know what you and Diddy was doing together in y'all younger years. All that's coming out.
Who else did you see allegedly on the tapes?
Tyrese with Will and Jada. Then the one with Charlie Mack and Will. Jada's not on it, but you can hear her say, make him spit up, period. So when these tapes come out, people will know I'm telling the absolute truth. Allegedly. So it's time for everybody that got a credible story, I should say, to start the...
One person said, just insanity. So many satanic people, Hollywood, music, politicians, world leaders, praying God makes these people pay. They all deserve life in prison. Funny Epstein never came out in Diddy's trial. Weinstein trial, no Epstein either. Another person said, Bryshere, my heart cries for you and whoever else went through this. To the moms who knew of it, jail is too easy. May you rot from the inside out, right here on earth for all people to see.
What if the biggest show on television wasn't just hiding drama in its scripts, but in its dressing rooms? Just when you thought the whispers around Empire had faded into Hollywood history, Terrence Howard has reignited a firestorm with claims that pull back the curtain on alleged power plays, secret mentorships, and an industry machine that may have chewed up one of its brightest young stars. And with renewed public interest in the infamous Jeffrey Epstein files, fans are now connecting dots that paint a much darker picture of fame, influence, and what really happens behind closed doors. Was one rising actor pushed out of the spotlight? Or was he pushed into something far more disturbing? According to Howard, the warning signs were there long before the headlines. Invitations that didn't feel right. Mentorships that raised eyebrows. Power players circling young talent under the guise of opportunity. And when Howard claims he declined certain advances from Sean Diddy Combs, he suggests the atmosphere shifted instantly. But what truly shocked viewers wasn't just Howard's near miss. It was the implication that someone else wasn't so lucky. As more voices, from industry insiders to controversial commentators, began adding fuel to the fire, the narrative spiraled into allegations of exploitation, silence bought with influence, and families allegedly complicit in decisions that change careers forever. And now, as social media dissects every interview clip and resurfaced accusation, one question hangs heavy. Was this a series of isolated incidents, or part of a much larger, deeply rooted network that Hollywood has managed to keep hidden in plain sight? What if the real drama behind television's biggest hit wasn't written in the script, but unfolding quietly in private rooms, exclusive mansions, and mentorship meetings no one was supposed to question? just as renewed attention around powerful industry figures and long-buried scandals starts trending again. Terrence Howard has stepped forward with revelations that are forcing people to re-examine what was really happening at the height of empire. And here's the unsettling question no one can ignore. Were these just isolated misunderstandings between celebrities? Or was there a culture of power, access, and influence operating in plain sight? Because when one respected actor hints that he narrowly avoided something that didn't feel right, and another young star's life seemingly spirals soon after, people start connecting dots. And with public scrutiny intensifying around elite circles once linked to figures like Jeffrey Epstein, the timing of these claims has the internet asking whether Hollywood's mentorship culture hides more than career advice. Howard's story begins with what sounded like opportunity. At the peak of his career resurgence, he says he was repeatedly approached by Sean Diddy Combs under the professional pretense of collaboration, acting coaching, music sessions, creative development. On paper, it made sense. Two high-profile entertainers crossing lanes. But Howard describes moments that fell off. Meetings without clear agendas. Invitations that lingered beyond business. Long stretches of silent observation instead of rehearsals. He has implied that what was presented as mentorship didn't carry the energy of professional growth. And when someone in his circle allegedly warned him that the invitations might not be strictly about work, he says the realization clicked. Instead of leaning in, he stepped back. Communication slowed. The request stopped. In Howard's telling, walking away may have cost him access, but it protected something far more important. That near miss is what gives his claims emotional weight. He isn't speaking as someone chasing headlines. He's positioning himself as someone who recognized a pattern and chose distance before it was too late. But while Howard says he dodged the situation, another rising star's trajectory tells a more complicated story. At the height of Empire's dominance, one of its youngest breakout actors seemed poised to become the next household name. Magazine covers, red carpets, viral fan moments, everything pointed upward. Then suddenly, the headlines shifted. Erratic behavior, career pauses, public confusion. Fans who once celebrated his success were now asking what happened. From the outside, it looked like self-sabotage. But whispers behind the scenes painted a different narrative. One of overwhelming pressure, questionable guidance, and alleged exposure to environments far beyond what a young performer should have been navigating. The contrast between the polished on-screen persona and the off-screen instability sparked speculation. Was this just fame hitting too fast? Or was there a hidden layer the public never saw? As the rumors spread, the word mentorship began to take on a darker undertone. Multiple insiders and commentators have claimed that powerful figures within entertainment often blur the line between guidance and control. Private dinners framed as networking. Exclusive trips described as career building. Access to elite rooms positioned as a privilege. For a young artist trying to secure longevity in a ruthless industry, saying no can feel impossible. The imbalance of power is undeniable. Established moguls with decades of influence versus newcomers still learning how contracts, loyalty, and reputation intertwine. Allegations suggest that some of these mentorship dynamics created environments where boundaries weren't clearly defined and where the cost of participation wasn't always spelled out. Even without graphic details, the implication alone is enough to spark outrage. Because when ambition meets unchecked authority, vulnerability becomes currency. Then came the internet explosion. Controversial commentators, former insiders, and outspoken personalities began amplifying the claims. Interviews went viral. Livestream clips circulated across platforms within hours. Some viewers saw brave whistleblowers finally naming what others were too afraid to say. Others dismissed the accounts as clout-chasing exaggerations fueled by personal vendettas. The division was immediate and intense. Supporters pointed to patterns, past scandals, resurfaced testimonies, and the broader history of powerful men shielding each other. Skeptics demanded proof, warning against trial by social media. But whether believed or doubted, the conversation refused to die down. Every new clip added fuel. Every denial sparked another theory. And suddenly, what began as one actor's uneasy experience turned into a full-scale debate about how Hollywood protects its elite and what happens to those who speak out. Now, the public is left watching a narrative that feels bigger than any one celebrity. Was this a case of misunderstood intentions amplified by rumor? Or are these fragments part of a larger system that has thrived on silence for decades? As more voices emerge and more archives resurface, one thing is clear. The conversation about power, mentorship, and accountability in the entertainment industry isn't fading anytime soon. And the question remains, who knew what and when? As the conversation grew louder, another name kept resurfacing, not because of direct accusations in this case, but because of timing. The renewed public fascination with elite secrecy has been impossible to ignore ever since the fallout surrounding Jeffrey Epstein forced society to confront how powerful networks can operate behind polished reputations. That scandal didn't just expose one man. It cracked open a broader debate about access, influence, and how interconnected certain circles truly are. So when fresh allegations begin swirling around high-profile entertainers and executives, the public naturally draws parallels. Not as proof, not as confirmation, but as context. Social media has been flooded with side-by-side timelines, resurfaced interviews, and speculative threads asking whether Hollywood's inner sanctums function more like exclusive clubs than professional spaces. It's important to stress that speculation is not evidence, but perception is powerful. And right now, perception is being shaped by a cultural moment in which audiences are far less willing to accept surface-level explanations. The question many are asking isn't whether two situations are identical. It's whether they reveal a pattern of how influence shields itself until it no longer can. But perhaps the most emotionally charged aspect of this unfolding narrative isn't about moguls or secretive circles. It's about the people closest to the young star at the center of it all. Online debates have shifted toward allegations involving parental oversight and management decisions. Comment sections are split between outrage and caution. Some argue that no young performer enters elite spaces without a guardian's awareness. Others push back, emphasizing how complex and overwhelming the entertainment machine can be, especially when contracts, agents, and publicists all play a role. Names like Jaguar Wright have added fuel to the discussion by making explosive claims in interviews, while viral platforms hosted by figures such as Tasha K have amplified them to millions. Yet for every accusation, there's an equally strong reminder. Allegations circulating online are not court verdicts. The emotional intensity stems from a deeper fear. If even a fraction of this were true, how could those responsible for protection have missed it? That question, fair or not, is what keeps the debate burning. And then we arrive at the credibility crisis. Because here's where things get complicated. We have interviews. We have first-hand accounts. We have denials. We have statements made under oath in media settings that are not courtrooms. But what we don't have, at least publicly, are verified documents, charges, or legal findings that confirm the most explosive parts of these narratives. In today's digital ecosystem, a compelling interview clip can travel faster than any fact check ever could. That doesn't automatically make it false, but it does mean audiences are left sorting emotion from evidence in real time. Some viewers believe consistency across multiple voices signals truth. Others insist that without hard proof, everything remains conjecture. And that tension between suspicion and substantiation is exactly why this story refuses to settle. It lives in the gray. So now the spotlight turns to you. Is this simply a series of overlapping rumors amplified by algorithm-driven outrage? Is it a case of past grievances resurfacing in a cultural moment primed for scandal? Or are we witnessing the early stages of a deeper reckoning that hasn't fully unfolded yet? History has shown us that powerful institutions rarely reveal their secrets all at once. But it has also shown us that speculation alone can reshape reputations overnight. As more interviews surface and more voices choose to speak or stay silent, the narrative remains fluid. This isn't a closed case. It's an evolving conversation. And in an era where public scrutiny can be as influential as any courtroom, the real question may not be what's already been said, but what, if anything, is still waiting to come out.